The US consulate in Istanbul is closed for those wanting to travel to the United States, but both Washington and Ankara say they're committed to getting the visas moving again. Ankara has firmly blamed John Bass, the outgoing US ambassador, for the row, saying he has called into question Turkey's judiciary and interfered in the rule of law. That's for backing a consular employee arrested for alleged links to FETO and then suspending visa services for Turks. At his last press conference in Turkey, the US ambassador further angered officials in Ankara.
I think it is really important to remember that fortunately this country has not experienced any significant attacks by Daesh in 9.5 months. That's not a result. The absence of attacks is not a result of Daesh deciding it no longer wanted to try to conduct attacks in Turkey. It's a result of Daesh no longer being able to conduct the kinds of attacks in Turkey that it did in 2015 and 2016.
Some officials in Ankara view this as a threat. They say the ambassador's comments suggest Turkey would face terrorist attacks from Daesh if the US were to end its campaign against the terror group. But Bass did say that recent success was due to close security cooperation between the two countries and that this would continue. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has blamed Bass directly for the latest blow to Turkey-US relations, but Washington has said the visa ban was agreed on at the highest levels, including the White House.
Turkey is
the only NATO member country that is simultaneously fighting 3 terrorist organizations, the PKK, Daesh and FETO. When you look at the role of NATO members and other allies of Turkey, it's clear that their support to Turkey in the fight against terror is not satisfactory. This is why we have terrorist attacks.
Cullen is talking directly about US support for the YPG, fighting Daesh in Syria. The YPG is linked to the PKK terror group, and Turkey fears that when Daesh is defeated, the weapons America has given them will be turned on Turkey. President Erdogan has criticized the arrests in the US of Turkish-Iranian businessman Reza Zarrab and a Halkbank senior official Mehmet Hasan Abdullah on corruption charges. Erdogan has called for their release. The United States has voiced concern over the detentions of more than 100,000 people since the 2016 coup attempt and worries about the rule of law in Turkey. But lastly, probably the biggest issue of all, Turkey wants what it calls the leader of that coup attempt. Turkey is also not satisfied with US progress on the extradition request for Fetullah Gulen, the accused mastermind of last year's coup attempt in Turkey. Officials here say they seek good relations with the US, but Washington must end its support for elements that are at war with Turkey, its ally and fellow NATO member. Hasan Abdullah, TRT World, Ankara.